Hey, everybody. I wanted to talk today how there are three people that you are interacting with every time you have a conversation with your wife. Those three people are the ideal person, the perceived person, and the real person. And so we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper as we talk today. I have an ideal image of how Lori should show up in my life. Lori is my spouse. I have this belief system that an ideal wife would do things a certain way, would follow a certain expected pattern in my brain. And when she doesn't, I'm disappointed. My expectations are not met. I can get angry or hurt or sad or a number of emotions because she's not living up to some ideal that I have built in my head of how my wife should behave. The second one is my perception of who she is, which is often skewed because my perception is based on my filters. She's going to act this way because this is what I know about her. She's going to be upset that I didn't get the right gift on her birthday, or she's going to be upset that I stayed late at work or whatever, because she's wired in a way that I'm perceiving. I'm perceiving her as a particular way of being, which is not necessarily true. Typically, it's based on how I have filtered her responses over time. She might be upset that I'm staying an hour late at work, not because I stayed an hour late, but because I didn't call her and tell her I was going to be working late. That's different. She's not, it's her upset is not where I thought it would be. It's based on my perception that she doesn't like me working late versus she'd really prefer if I communicated with her. And so the third person, the real person of who Lori is someone that I have to discover. In doing that, I have to let go of my expectations. I have to let go of that ideal image of who she is. Because if I don't, she'll always fall short or be different than some ideal I've come to expect. And I have to look at my perceptions and let those go as well, because a lot of those perceptions are about me. You know, her upset may be more about how I received her, what she said to me. For example, text messaging doesn't have tone. So if she sends me a text that says, "What were you thinking?" based on my perception, I can see that as critical, or I can see that as humorous. And I could be wrong about both of them. If I look at who Lori truly is, then I might see it differently. I might see it as, oh, she was asking for clarification. She was saying, what were you thinking, blue paint or brown paint? Oh, okay, I had no idea where you were coming from. I thought you were like, what were you thinking? So we have to deal with those perception issues, or we create a problem in the relationship that's not really there. We also have to deal with our expectations, our ideal person of who they should be, because that sets both of us up for disappointment. And connecting with the real person of who they are takes a lot of work on my part to dig through my history. You know, my history may not allow another person to be trustworthy, or it may not allow another person to make mistakes, or it may not allow another person to say something to me that's not meant the way that everyone else has meant it. Thanks, everybody. I look forward to seeing you next time. Just remember, every time you're having a conversation with your spouse, you may be talking to 3 different people. 2 of them are on you. They are your ideal person and your perceived person of who they are, and the real person of who they are that you really need to pay attention to. So do the work of trying to figure out, is this because they're not the ideal person? They're not living up to my perception or expectations of them? Or is this really who I need to see, how I need to see them? And that can be really challenging work. And so if you need help, please reach out to me. That's one of the things I help guys with. See ya.